What's up, lunatics? Welcome back to the channel. I really appreciate you guys watching this video. Once again, we're gonna have a little bit of a different video than we normally do. It's not gonna be a normal tackle making video. It's not gonna be a normal on the water fishing trip video. No tournaments going on right now for me, although I do have one come up in August up at the California Delta. It's the FLW series event. Looking really forward to that one, but we'll talk about that one at a later date. But today, I'm gonna go through a couple of recent trips that I had. I took a couple people out on the boat and we went out, caught some fish. I didn't get a ton of stuff on video, which is why I can't do one of my normal on the water style videos. But what I wanted to do with that footage that I did capture is talk to you guys about the tackle that I'm using, the rods that I'm using, the line that I'm using, stuff like that. So that way, if you want to try any of the same stuff that I'm using, maybe you want to try out some different line, try out some different tackle, and if I can point you in the direction of some good quality tackle, then that's definitely what I want to do. And as you guys all know, I do have a relationship with 6th Sense and Omnia Fishing. So all of those links and all the stuff that I'm going to be talking about in today's video are linked down below. Those Omnia fishing links are affiliate links, so I do get a huge benefit from when you guys click on that link and when you do purchase some of your tackle. So it'd be awesome if you did purchase anything through Omnia Fishing. It really does help me out a ton. Same thing with 6th Sense when you guys use that 6th Sense discount code. The discount code is Luna10 for 6th Sense, and then I do have a discount code for your first purchase with Omnia Fishing, Luna First 15. So make sure to check that out and take advantage of those codes. And as always, the stuff's gonna be linked in the description, listed out, different rods, different reels, line, tackle, all that stuff will be listed out in the description, so make sure to check that out. So in this first clip, I'm out on the lake, super clear water lake, tons of brush in the water, and the bite had been pretty darn tough. And I had to resort to finesse fishing, which isn't a problem. It's pretty typical out here in San Diego. We have clear water lakes, really high pressure fisheries and small lakes, so it bodes very well for finesse fishing. And in this clip, I catch a fish on a shaky head that I made with my DoIt mold. It's a great shaky head. I really like it for the light weights, the 1/8 ounce and the 3/16 ounce. I really like those ones. I'll probably play around with some of the heavier ones, but typically when I go heavier than 3/16, I'm throwing the 6th Sense Divine shaky head. But in this video, I think I have an 1/8 or a 3/16 ounce shaky head that I poured myself, along with a worm that I poured myself using the El Gaisano mold from DoIt Molds. Pretty cool worm. It's a laminate color. That means there's a one color on one side and another color on the other side. It was like a green and purple laminate color. Pretty cool color. So let's watch the fish catch, and then we'll go into some more of the equipment that I'm using. There's one. There's one. Get out of that tree. Yeah. Might be small, but I can't really tell. But I got one. Got him. Decent. There you go. Not bad. Not bad. There we go. So as you can see, it wasn't a giant fish. However, there are tough days on the water where you just want to get bit, period. And the shaky head is a great option in those situations. It can supplement your drop shot. It can supplement your Ned rig. This shaky head that I'm using is great around these brush piles. It has a really round head. It comes in and out of that brush really well. And I had a lot of good success with it over the last couple trips at that lake. Caught a bunch of fish on another trip, caught a couple fish on this trip. That's the only fish I got on camera. But it is a good little shaky head. It's great in that brush. So getting into the line that I was using a spinning rod. It was a Daiwa Fuego spinning rod. That's around $100. Pretty inexpensive spinning reel, but a great bang for your buck around that $100 price point. I had Berkley X9 braid on there in a 10 or 12 pound test. I don't remember exactly which size, but it would have been around that 10 or 12 pound test. Another great option for you is Sunline SX1 braid. I'm gonna be probably switching over. It's gonna be about time to switch my braids out. So I'm gonna go with the SX1. I used it a long time ago, switched over to the Berkley X9, and I'm gonna put some more of that Sunline on there. I did have a 8 pound test FC Sniper Sunline fluorocarbon leader on there. The 8 pound test, I really like it. If I can get away with fishing 8 pound test, I'm going to. I just feel like it does give you a little bit extra strength in that 6 pound test, and I think around this brush you can really benefit from that if you can get away with it. The rod I was using was a 7'2" Lux spinning rod by 6 Cents. That is slowly becoming my favorite spinning rod that I have. That 7'2" gives you so many different things that you can fish. You can throw a drop shot on it. You can throw the shaky head, obviously. You can throw underspins on it. You can throw small swim baits on it. You can throw wacky rigs. You can do so much with that rod. Another great rod, just since we're on the spinning rod topic, is the Milliken Fishing spinning rod. I like to drop shot with that one. It's a little bit lighter of an action than the 7'2" Lux. But if you are in the market for a new spinning reel and you need some guidance, or spinning rod, and you need some guidance on which one to get, I definitely recommend that Lux spinning rod. And it's $159, I believe it is. Great rod, great price point. And that Daiwa Fuego spinning reel is a great combo to pair up with that spinning rod. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna go into is another fishing trip. We're gonna take a little boat ride, and then we're gonna get into some fish catches. So let's go through. We're gonna watch the first fish catch, and then we'll pause, we'll talk about it, and then we'll get into the next fish catch. They're both on spinnerbaits. So let's watch the first one, then we'll talk, and then we'll get into the second one. There's one. Oh, it came on, but I got bit. Oh, I did catch one. I don't know if that counts, but technically I did catch one. All right, so once again, not a giant fish by any means. Like I said in the clip, I don't even know if that one should count. But you know what? It was a bite, and there are days where you just want anything to bite your lure and to bite your bait. And in this case, that little fish bit that spinnerbait. So, you know what? There's just days where you're just thankful to get a bite. With this fish catch, it was on the DoIt Molds spinnerbait that I make myself. I really, really like that spinnerbait. Really, really like that mold. It makes great spinnerbaits. Has a super sharp owner hook in that spinnerbait. I really, really like it. It's sharp. It has good vibration, and it just flat out catches fish. Ever since I started making those spinnerbaits, I've definitely caught more spinnerbait fish. That's also probably because I've been throwing the spinnerbait more, but I started making them and I started fishing them, and I just got a whole lot more confidence in the spinnerbait. So I decided to just keep going with it, and I've just caught a ton of fish on it. I don't know if it's because of anything special about that spinnerbait, how I've put it together, or if it's just something that these fish just haven't been seeing as much of, but it's been a super fun way to catch fish, and I've caught some good quality fish on that spinnerbait as well. Speaking of spinnerbaits, I do have some for sale on my website, mattlunafishing.com. No pressure, just throwing it out there in case you guys are interested in getting any. There's one. There's one. It was right out of that bush right there. Yeah. Not very big, but better than better than the last one.
Oh yeah.
Better than the last one. Skinny. So this next fish catch that you guys just saw was on another spinnerbait fish. Better quality fish than that last one. Still not a giant, but that was a fun fish catch. And it was on that same spinnerbait once again. And what I was using in that clip was the 6 cents Divine 7'3" casting rod. I love that rod for the spinnerbait. It's super sensitive, so I can feel it coming through the brush, because in this situation I was slow rolling that spinnerbait through flooded brush. You could see some of the brush sticking up in the water, but there was a ton of it underneath the water that you couldn't see, so I was just slow rolling that spinnerbait through that brush. I could feel it hitting those branches and stuff like that. And I think that that's the key a lot of times when you're fishing the spinnerbait, is either giving it movement yourself by reeling it fast and then stopping, or stopping and starting, or giving it some jerks with your rod. But it needs to have some sort of action. I think deflecting off of those tree branches and those sticks that were in the water is what triggered some of these bites. And that's just something that when I have brush in the water, I love to throw a spinnerbait bite to see if that reaction bite's going. The spinnerbaits go through the brush pretty darn well. They don't do very well in grass, but they do really, really good around wood. So when you have flooded brush, make sure to give that spinnerbait a try. The reel that I was using was a Diawa Tatula SV. It's a 6:3 to 1 gear ratio, and I really think that that part of it is important. I really, really like that reel. I know I've talked about that reel a bunch of different times, and I've gotten more of them over time because I've liked them so much. The line that I was using, 12-pound test, FC Sniper, Sunline fluorocarbon. You could probably get away with some heavier line, but that 12-pound test has been working for me. Very rarely do I break off even with that 12-pound test, but if I could go up to 15, it wouldn't be a bad idea, but very rarely do I break anything off at 12. And now we're gonna move into a different fish catch from that same trip. No longer using the spinnerbait. We're slowing down and we're throwing a 6 cents Divine shaky worm. Great worm to pair up with your shaky heads. In this clip, I am using the 1/4 ounce Divine shaky head by 6 cents. Great shaky head, has a nice flat bottom, so especially around rocks, especially around like flatter areas, that shaky head's gonna really stand up, and that worm's gonna be like straight up off the bottom, kind of like the similar effect that you're gonna get with a Ned rig, but it's gonna be on a larger scale, because that worm's gonna be about 6 inches or bigger, depending on what size Divine shaky worm you get. They have the 6.3 and the 7-inch version, but great shaky head. It's got a killer hook in it, nice wide gap, so you can put thick body baits on there if you wanted to. I've heard of people putting the 6 cents prawn on there. That's a beaver style bait, but really versatile thing to have in the tackle box. In this clip, I am fishing around flooded trees, flooded brush, like we mentioned before, but the bite had changed. The sun had got higher, so it was time to switch over, slow down, throw that worm. So I kind of cast that worm out there, and I'm slowly bringing it back through that brush. There it is. There it is. Little one again. Can't catch anything good today. The rod that I was using in this clip is the 7'1" Sensory medium action rod. It's a great worm rod, great Texas rig rod. I also like to throw jerk baits on it. I like to throw topwater baits on it. I actually bought another one. Great rod. You can do a lot of different things with it. I've caught jerk bait fish on it. I've caught obviously shaky head fish on it. I would like to throw topwater baits on it, especially some of the smaller Dogma topwaters. Some of your pop baits would also be good, like the Splashback from 6th Sense. Those would be great options for that rod. Super sensitive rods as well. So they're great for those slower techniques where you really need to have that sensitivity, but that medium action does really well with some of those topwater baits and jerk baits, and I highly recommend that rod. I had 10-pound test fluorocarbon on this one. If I can get away with it when I'm throwing a worm, I really do like to throw that 10-pound test. You do run the risk of breaking off, but I feel like I get a ton of bites by going down that line size. But fishing around this kind of brush, if you can go up to like a 12, maybe even a 15-pound test, you're going to be better off. But 10's been on that forever. I do run the risk of breaking off, but I feel like I get a ton of bites because of that 10-pound test. But you got to get bit before you can break them off. The reel that I was using in that fish catch was the Shimano Core. They don't make those anymore, but I think a great option would be like the Shimano Corrado or something along those lines. I'll put a couple links in the description of some different options that could supplement that rod really well. So that's gonna do it for today's video. I know it was a little bit different than what I normally do, but I hope you guys still enjoyed it. I hope the information that I gave you was good. I hope it didn't just sound like a sales pitch for a bunch of stuff, but I really feel like if I don't tell you guys what I'm using and don't give you an opportunity to go out and get some of this equipment yourself, I'm not doing you guys any favor. Some of the most important factors in fishing, besides obviously locating them, is having the best equipment that you can buy in order to be as effective as you can and to catch the most fish. We want to go out there, we don't want to miss fish because we don't have, you know, as best stuff as we can. So if I can put you in a direction to finding good quality tackle, good quality rods, reels, all that kind of stuff, I want to do that for you. I want to make sure I'm connecting you with quality equipment so that way you have the best chance to catch as many fish as possible. But if you're trying to maximize the amount of fish that you catch, you're going to want something that's sensitive so you can feel all those bites. You're going to want to not pull hooks out when you're throwing a crankbait or a topwater bait, because sometimes bites are at a premium and you need to have the proper equipment to be as successful as possible. I know there's a lot of people that fish tournaments, and that brings it to another level. You have money on the line, so you definitely want to pair up the right equipment with the right bait. So if I can point you in that direction and help you out and get you in a position to be as successful as possible, that's what I want to do. I want to provide you guys value, and hopefully this video did that. So again, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. If you have any questions, make sure to drop a comment down below, and I would really appreciate it if you give this video a like. But I will see you guys in the next couple days. I'm going to try to up my video game and try to get more out if possible. Don't hold me to that. I would like to try to move things up and get 3 videos a week out. I've been doing the best I can to get 2, and most of the time I've been able to do that. A couple times I've missed, and I've done some of the live streams, but I do want to try to get at least 3 videos a week out somehow, whether it's a live stream or a vlog or something like that. But I want to be able to connect with you guys here on YouTube more often. So again, thanks for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. Share it with your friends if you liked it, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.